Everyone, can we gather here quickly? Okay, I know that you only have a moment. It's only rehearsal, but I think that we should use the microphone so we get accustomed to that, okay? So I'm going to test. Okay, great. Just to repeat, I know this is an exciting event for all of us. We have not done something like this in a long time. And we know that, it's going to be a wonderful thing with many dignitaries there. Meryl Streep will be there. Gloria Steinem, I understand, will be there. I know we are very excited about that. But please, as we discussed, I think that as far as autographs and telling them what big fans we are, I think, of course, while it is just the 7 of us, we are here alone in this room, it's fine to say how much you love them, do whatever you want. But when the time comes and they are really there, I think we must maintain decorum, okay? Yes, Anna? No, dear. No, okay. Yeah, I know, but I don't think they will want to discuss that film Avatar with you. Because it is not the time, okay? I know it is your favorite, but no, I do not think Ms. Streep will be offended that it is your favorite. She can't be in every film. So it's, okay. But we should focus now, okay? Okay. Just to give you that rundown of how it will go, I will introduce us as members of the group. That we are Women Can't Wait, that we are part of the Beijing Plus 15. We will do all of that. And you all only need, introduce yourselves by name, mention your country before your speeches. And by the way, I know this rehearsal room, it is a bit smaller than last time, but apparently the entire UN is in the midst of moving their offices. So I was told we are fortunate that we are not in a broom closet somewhere on Lexington Avenue. But yes, I'm sorry. Yes, my dear Anna. Yes, dear. That depends. Is this another question about that film? Okay, I understand that, but yes, I agree that the blue alien women seem to have more rights on their planet than we do here on Earth. But I understand that. But yes, dear. But what I was trying to say to you is that for your speech, I really think it will be even more powerful if you will just try to share your own experience as a 13-year-old girl from Kenya rather than focusing on the planet of Pandora, okay? Okay. But as our youngest member, I do commend your initiative. I thank you for that creative spirit, okay? Okay. But we must start, and I just, well, okay, before we do, I know that I get a bit emotional, but I just want to say quickly on a personal note how much looking at your faces, it really reminds me, takes me right back to the first time that we did this, and that, Equality Now invited the group of us to come together to share our experience of the discriminatory laws, and we all went through a lot to do that. We all had to come here, and I remember I had to get on that plane in Delhi. I really don't like to fly. And then arriving here in New York, having difficulty with the UN security clearance, and, even that is a fond memory. So, but, that was our first time sharing these stories in public. And so I know that for all of us it was quite stressful. I know it's stressful again today. But just looking back then, how far we had come. I had only just left my husband at that time. And right, Emerald, you remember that on top of that, I was also at the same time trying to help my son with planning his wedding. This is, well, for those who don't, you weren't there, but my son, it was a traditional Indian ceremony. So just try to picture whatever wedding planning nightmare you can imagine, and then multiply it by about 5, and then add elephants. I mean, really, it's just the worst thing you can imagine. So stressful, so stressful. So, but, that was a very difficult time. We were all having difficulties at that time. And I just remember that we were so determined. We were so determined. And that spirit was so strong. I remember last time I stood there and I said, this is history in the making. We are going to change the world today, give or take a few days. But of course, I did not think that means 10 years worth of days, but all of this to say that if you find yourself feeling intimidated when we are actually there in front of this distinguished group of people, just try to remind yourself we are only here to gently encourage them to remember that they have promises to keep. Right? Anna, you were not even old enough to know about the last conference, and now here you must come. You are a big girl, and you have to remind them to be big boys and big girls and honor the commitment they have made to the women of the world. So, no, yes, okay. Okay, yes, Emerald. It's a good point, but I won't be that emotional when the time comes. Okay. We start now, by the way, just don't forget what we talked about it. Try to smile. Smile to the people, even if you are nervous, because they really like that, the smiling. Especially the UNDP. They like when you smile to them. So you just... Okay, so I will begin. Good afternoon, Excellencies and guests. My name is Praveen Manvi. I am from India, and I am here with the group Women Can't Wait. And together we work to highlight the impact of discriminatory laws on the real women from around the world. And we came together 10 years ago. Many of you were also here yourselves at that time. I recognize a few faces, and may I say the good news is it appears that none of us have aged a day. You don't like that, Emerald? I make a small joke there? Okay, I strike that one. Okay, but I'll keep this part. The one thing that is not improving as quickly as we would like with the passing of time is the legally sanctioned inequality many of the world's women continue to face, on top of discrimination at the cultural level. Okay. And it is important to say that then, as now, we did not wish to only point the finger of blame at one region or one culture, but instead to acknowledge that various forms of discrimination against women not only exist in all societies, but are even codified by the very governments which should be fighting that injustice. So, too emotional. Okay, but... Now, since 2000, there has been progress with some of the codes and laws which we originally addressed having been repealed. Those victories are due to the efforts of the world's women and the men who respect them. Hello, you too. Okay, I'm joking about that. But it is one thing to sit and speak before some of the most intimidating gatherings in the world and to muster that courage to speak. But it is quite another when the speech one must give reveals one's own very personal and painful history. So for my part, I am a survivor of domestic violence myself. And for me, that violence took the form of marital rape. And I know that is a difficult thing to hear me say, but that was the reality. And when I first shared my story in public before a distinguished group such as this, it was so challenging to reveal such a personal experience. I now know of other women who also felt shamed or stayed silent about that. They could not speak out, as I felt I could not, for more than 20 years. But of course, I now know that the real shame could never belong to the woman. It is to the perpetrator who is doing that to her, even if he is the husband. And the only thing more painful than suffering that abuse all those years was the fact that as a married woman, I had no legal recourse. The law concerning marital rape in India at that time effectively sanctioned this violence. But I am profoundly gratified to say that just 5 years ago, in response to vigorous advocacy by women's groups, India adopted the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, giving the wife legal protection for the first time. Of course, there is still more to be done since the criminal law has not been amended to enable women to file rape cases against their husbands. And there is yet more to be done in countries ranging from the Bahamas to Singapore and elsewhere where this kind of lack of protection still exists. But the point of our being here today is to be heartened by our successes even as we continue to demand further change. In closing, looking back over 10 years and all the campaigning, it is true, I sometimes worried that perhaps people thought the name of our group was not Women Can't Wait, but rather women would prefer not to wait. But please feel free to take as much time as you would like. But today I dare to dream that we will be able to retire from having to fight these laws once and for all, so that in the future I can visit the refurbished UN not as a speaker but as a tourist. And I thank you.